Well, okay, so let me just say this, right? Let me show you where I think it started, right?
Yeah.
And we got actually footage of this, and I want to put this in here. You remember when we first were at the on North Side, and we started talking about we was gonna be grateful for everything, right? I feel like that for me was like when it first started. Like we didn't have it all down, but that was like the first like real cornerstone that we needed to start being grateful for the things that we had.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So when I say that, like you had a video, we have a video of you was at the car wash. And you was like, man, you know, people be worrying about how things come. And then you tell the story of the car that kept breaking down until you start saying you was grateful for it. It's like, it's like a fable because technicians flew in from all over, couldn't fix the car wouldn't start. And then all of a sudden when we start saying we're grateful for this car,
fixed itself.
Magically start working. Never broke down again, which is the craziest thing to me. But it taught me, once again, I'm gonna drop a book for y'all, The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's an older book, but one thing they talk about is treating where you're at like a kingdom. When I was at my mama's house, I started treating it like a kingdom.
That's an energetic thing though.
Yeah.
Think about the energy shift that had to take place and like the amount of awareness that you had to come, you know, that had to come before yourself to where you like, okay, yeah, I'm at a lower energy right now. Like that's the first step to all of this. Is just like becoming aware of what you're doing to yourself because
the
like
mental
it's
habit.
the mental like, and that's why like at the beginning, you know, that was my energy with you know, the fable has you know, not the fable, the story has become true. You know what I'm saying? Like what you were saying, but basically, like all I think about is all of this nice stuff around me is just a direct reflection of the thoughts that I've been beaten into my brain.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when my homie asked, like he said, I mean, how does it feel to, you know, like accomplish so much? You know what I'm saying? And this, that, and the third. I'm like, honestly, bro, I don't expect nothing else. Like, cause like if you think about it, yo, this type of stuff is the stuff that I've always dreamed of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where you saw yourself.
It's what I saw. It's where I saw myself. It's like the big screens, the microphones, the chords, a bunch of you, like all of that, empowering people, helping people understand things, like all of that good stuff, building people up, leveling people to the next. That's what I've always saw.
Yeah.
So when it starts to unfold, it's almost like,
yeah, what else?
What else? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what else was going to do?
And I want you to understand that we're speaking from our perspective, but the whole reason this whole episode is even before you is because we want you to know that you can run the same type of plays. You can do the same thing for yourself. It's no skin tone thing. Nobody's further, or some people do start further back than others, but that's all cool too, because once you're in it, you're in it.
Yeah, it's gonna make you more powerful.
It's like once you understand, all right, my energy is low. My energy is down here. Like I need to raise my vibration up. Like we was watching that YouTube video just a few seconds ago.
Stuart Wild.
What was the name of that video?
Well, that's Stuart Wild. It's like a speech. Actually,
what's our YouTube channel? That's
you talking about VYBO?
VYBO.
Vibrate higher. They got some great content over there.
Great content. What was the guy?
Stuart Wild. So here's the funny thing. It's crazy you was listening to that when I walked in today.
Yeah.
Because when I first started, right, very low vibration. This before I even met you.
Yeah.
I hadn't told you about that video.
I ain't told you about that.
But I first met you. I listened to that video, and the big thing about getting organized, that's why I became so adamant about being organized and systematic.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I could put out all this great energy, but people are going to come and I'm going to be like, oh, I want to buy something. And we had that problem at first. If you watch From Mama's House to Penthouse, since if you from season 1, you'll notice that we took breaks a lot of times. And that was because we were literally doing that, getting organized. Because we'll put out all this great energy, great content, and people be like, okay, guys.
What can you do for me?
What y'all got?
It's like, shit.
We like, well, what
you got something?
I don't.
Oh, shit, you ain't got nothing?
You ain't got nothing either?
Fuck. All right.
Let's get off this podcast real quick. We gotta go figure out some shit.
We'll be right back.
So I feel like that's what we really were doing. And I feel like the first part, that's why I say the first part to me is just being grateful for what you have. Because you might be making, I have friends like Instagram Explosion, for example, right? And I don't think we ever got to talk about what happened with that. But it was a great product.
Because that was part of the reason why we had to stay away for so long.
But it was like, it made like $90 or something the first month we released it.
Yeah.
And, you know, most people be like, oh, $90, that ain't shit. But it's a seed. And then it started growing to more and more. Then all of a sudden it was taking care of like damn near everything in the company.
Then we looked back and that motherfucker did 6 figures. We was like, damn,
like,
really?
What happened? But it started with $90 a month.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, if I go make $20 off something, I'm not gonna be like, that's just $20. I'm gonna be grateful.
Exactly.
And in the books of Soul of Money, one thing they talked about is understanding your relationship to money, your flows, right? So basically, content is something we put out because we understand that's one of our flows. That's
Yeah.
where we get our energy from that allows us to express ourselves in a certain way. Maybe it's not for you, but at the same time, understanding that you put energy into the things that bring you money. That's what investment basically is.
Exactly.
It's just a spiritual concept. If, for example, as a friend, I've invested in you, you've invested in me.
Yeah.
So that don't just mean I put money behind you.
Yeah.
You put money, but like, all right, shit, D, you need some
Time
help.
is money.
You need help moving. Boom, I invested.
Exactly.
Right? So it's all that stuff comes to creating the friendship that's good. And then that shit starts to reciprocate.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the first thing, understanding is gratitude when it comes to money.
Mama's house, 2 penthouse, yeah.